Good afternoon and welcome to the Reading Revolution. My name is Kate Taddeo, and this semester I have been working on integrating e-readers into the library. I'd like to say thank you to Mary and Marcia for all their help on the library end, as well as Elena for answering all my technology questions and Mike Brown for helping with the website. I've worked on this project over the course of the entire semester, and I am pleased to share my planning, marketing, and assessment plan with you all today. Why e-readers? This is probably the most important question we asked ourselves. What place will e-readers have in our library? As a small library, the biggest gap that the e-readers will fill is that of providing an increased collection without taking up any more space. By integrating the Nook and the Kindle, we are able to provide access to more books, more magazines, and more newspapers without having to weed out resources to make more room. Additionally, budget always needs to be taken into account, and I found that many books are available through either Barnes & Nobles or Amazon at a significant reduction, in some cases free. E-readers also provide patrons with access to technology they might not otherwise use. This will improve their technology skills and help them gain confidence as they move forward in their schooling. Lastly, the inclusion of e-readers into the services that the library provides fits into both the mission and goals of the library and the district. The library operates under the mission of the school district, which is: the mission of Marcellus Central School District is to provide an education which challenges, nurtures, and supports each child as a whole person. The responsibility for this mission lies with the entire community, including students, staff, parents, and community members. It is our intent that each student will develop the responsibility, the confidence in his or her talents, and the knowledge necessary to function as a productive and contributing citizen in a diverse and changing world. The Library Action Plan and the district both have very clearly defined goals. The integration of e-readers will allow for the increased collaboration as students and teachers join with the library in building a user-driven collection, will allow teachers and students alike to use e-resources in support of classroom learning, and provide an increased collection to patrons. The aim of the Reading Revolution is simple. It will redefine how books are selected and borrowed from the library. Patrons will now be an integral part of the process as they request ebooks to be ordered through the Reading Revolution website or in person at the library. Whether looking for a resource to assist with the class project or simply a book to read for fun, patrons will now have faster access to desired books on either the Kindle or the Nook. There are 4 goals for the Reading Revolution. They are: increase library and professional resource collection in a cost-effective and timely manner, increase collaboration with teachers and students, provide student access to innovative and current technology, create new users through the use of new and popular e-reader devices. Outcomes for the Reading Revolution are as follows. Teachers and students will collaborate with the library staff to access e-resources in support of classroom projects and/or personal reading. Participating patrons will utilize e-resources previously unavailable at the library. Users will be able to confidently and independently use the new and innovative technology like the e-reader. And 20% of current non-users will become active users of the library's resources via the e-reader program. As you can see, not only do we plan on providing more resources, but we plan on growing the number of patrons who are active users of the library, as well as helping patrons gain confidence with new technology. In the school setting, the target audiences are fairly simple. The Reading Revolution will be open to all members of the school, and the breakdown of the specific target audiences are as follows. Students grades 9 through 12 who use the library for classwork, pleasure reading, and access to technology. Teachers for grades 9 through 12 who work in a variety of subject areas including math, social studies, science, English, and physical education. They use the library primary for classroom support, project research, and pleasure reading. Faculty and staff includes additional school community members who use the library primarily for pleasure reading. While working on this project, there were numerous things to consider that came up while planning a service such as the Reading Revolution. What issues are we hoping to impact, and who are we trying to reach? Realistically, what level of demand can we support with the resources we have, which currently stands at 1 Nook and 1 Kindle? As an offshoot of that, what are our options should demand outstrip our ability to support the program? E-readers are not cheap items. How will we deal with the damage or even loss of the devices, and who absorbs that cost? Is our network capable of supporting the devices? Some of these issues have been or are being dealt with already. For instance, in your packets you have a user agreement which students will need to read, sign, and return before they are allowed to borrow an e-reader. This agreement ensures that students understand their responsibilities, as well as the potential cost should they lose or damage the e-reader. Other issues may crop up over time. For instance, during the middle of work on this project, HarperCollins announced that they will limit the number of times an e-book may be loaned out to 26, essentially saying that even though the library purchases the e-book, there are limits to what the library can do with it. Then, just this week, Amazon announced a Kindle ebook library lending policy, which will allow users to borrow e-books from libraries. Both of these announcements illustrate that e-readers as a part of the library is something new and exciting and in a state of flux. As a library, we have to stay current on the policies of not only Barnes & Noble and Amazon, but the publishers as well. Marketing. How are we going to get the message out? In addition to the goals and outcomes of the Reading Revolution, there are also specific goals and outcomes for the marketing of the program. They include: the Reading Revolution will provide the community with access to information and a process for requesting ebooks. Posters located within the library will provide information about the Reading Revolution and direct patrons through the process for borrowing the e-readers. Takeaways such as flyers, bookmarks will provide information to patrons on the Reading Revolution and the process for borrowing an e-reader. The hallway display will provide information about the library and the Reading Revolution to members of the school community who are not currently library users. And the school newsletter will provide information to the community at large about the Reading Revolution service being provided at the library. And the outcomes are: students, faculty, and staff will request an ebook using the form available on the website. Patrons will request to borrow an e-reader while in the library. New users will come into the library to take part in the services provided, including the Reading Revolution. And community members will contact the library for more information on the Reading Revolution program and to request an ebook or borrow an e-reader. Now that we know what we want to do, how are we going to do it? As part of the Reading Revolution, we are going to try and reach the entire school community, from students who are in the library every day to those who have never used the library before, and even the parents at home. By utilizing tools such as the website, the school newsletter, posters, displays, and takeaways including bookmarks, we will reach the most number of people. In your package you have a few examples of the marketing tools we are going to use. The main method of marketing will be the Reading Revolution website, which will serve as the online home for the program. From the website, you will be able to learn about the program, see the goals, read any announcements, and request books through the interactive form. You will also be able to email questions or concerns directly to the library staff from that page. The school newsletter will be used to share information and announcements with the members of the community so that everyone is aware of the Reading Revolution and how the e-readers can be used. Posters and displays within the library will target active library users and share major messages of the program. Hallway displays will inform those members of the school community who are not currently active users of the library about the Reading Revolution and what types of e-resources are available for them to request and borrow. Takeaways will serve as a way to get patrons involved in the marketing. Bookmarks will be available at the front desk and will provide basic information about the program, as well as the website address and where the patrons can go for more information. By using multiple methods of marketing, we will create a buzz and patrons will want to join the Reading Revolution. The last section of this project is possibly the most important. How do we know when we have succeeded? Are we having an impact, and what can we do better? All evidence-gathering methods have inherent weaknesses, so it's important to employ a range of methods in order to build up a complete picture. As such, we plan to employ several different methods of assessment over the course of this program. E-reader training sessions will be available, and attendees will be required to fill out an evaluation on not only the course, but how they feel they are prepared to use the e-readers. Attendance records will allow the library to see how many students are able to independently use the e-readers with confidence. Reviews of existing records will provide quantitative data on the number of e-resources available to patrons, what sorts of e-resources are being requested by patrons, and whether the program is bringing in any new users. Patron surveys will provide qualitative data to allow patrons to provide the library with insight as to how they feel the Reading Revolution is doing on a number of fronts, including with the wait time for resource availability, whether they were able to operate the e-reader independently, and their use of the library as a whole and how the e-readers have impacted that. The data from the bulk of the assessments will be reviewed, analyzed, and reported on by March of 2012. This will allow the library to hold a focus group at the end of next year. At this focus group, the data will be shared with the participants and new ideas will be generated regarding how the program can continue to improve. I believe it's important to not only include the patrons in the process, but also hear what they have to say. They are coming at it from a different perspective than the library, and getting their thoughts and ideas may bring forward ideas we never thought of and lead us to improve the program. One way the library can quickly and easily see if we are meeting the mark with the service is through the use of a rubric. Much in the same way that teachers have used rubrics to grade student work, a service rubric will allow the library to grade itself and the program. This rubric, which you have a copy of in your handouts, contains 8 criteria which we will be looking at: staff participation, student participation, electronic resource availability, attitudes about the library and the level of technology it provides, the level of comfort using the e-reader for both the patrons and the library staff who will be providing support, increased patronage, and budget. Each criteria has target goals by which to measure progress, falling into the categories of beginning, developing, and exemplary. By seeing where the service falls within this rubric, based on the outcomes of the assessment methods listed previously, the library will be able to see where we are succeeding as well as where we may need to take a closer look and make some changes to make the service better. There are several main target dates for this program, including pilot testing, including the assessment testing with the test group which includes faculty and staff, should begin on May 15th with a wrap-up of September 15th, 2011. The Reading Revolution website has already gone live with continuous improvements coming as announcements are made. E-reader training sessions should begin for library patrons starting September 15th, 2011. Marketing materials, including the hallway display, the posters, and the bookmarks, should be completed and ready for handing out on September 15th as well. Soft rollout to book club and surveys being made available to patrons should start on September 15th. Rollout to grades 11 and 12 should begin on October 15th. Rollout to the remaining grades, 9 and 10, should begin December 1st, 2011. And assessment data compiled into a program report should be completed by March 15th, 2012, with an anticipated library focus group date falling in April of 2012. Budget is always an issue that needs to be considered. The initial funding for the e-readers was through a grant, but going forward there will be additional costs that have to be planned for. Should the Reading Revolution be a success, additional e-readers may want to be purchased so that the library can continue to keep up with the demand. The current prices of the e-readers we have is $249 for the Nook Color and $189 for the Kindle. This cost may change depending on whether the same device is purchased or if a new model is available. Book prices are generally equal to or lower than bound books. For this program, the marketing costs were limited to what can be done in-house using the school's printer and copier. However, for slightly more money, a lot more can be done, including creating larger, glossy posters for the library and display cases. Specifically, at Vistaprint, the library could purchase 3 12x18 posters for only $11.84, a small price for more effective marketing. For more information on the program, you can visit the Marcellus High School Library page for the Reading Revolution, as well as my e-portfolio, which includes a link to this presentation, as well as access to a PDF copy of the full planning, marketing, and assessment package, which Mrs. Hammondtree already has a copy of. I want to thank you all for coming to this presentation today, and I hope you are ready to join the Reading Revolution.